My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask your pardon for my sins and grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. Depending on the regions of the world, the feast day of your ascension into heaven, Jesus, was celebrated either last Thursday or yesterday. Regardless, we're now preparing with the whole church the big feast day of Pentecost, which is this coming Sunday. What better way to spend these 10 minutes of our dialogue with you, Jesus, than to prepare our mind and heart to receive once more the outpouring of the 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit: the gift of wisdom, the gift of understanding, the gift of knowledge, the gift of counsel, the gift of fortitude, the gift of piety, and the gift of the fear of the Lord. Into this gospel, you, Jesus, are telling us now, as you did to the apostles many, many years ago, that the hour is coming, has arrived, when each of you will be scattered to his own home, and you'll leave me alone. But I'm not alone, because the Father is with me. I've told you this so that you might have peace in me. In the world, you'll have trouble, but take courage. I have conquered the world. How comforting are these words of yours, Jesus. How reassuring are these reminders of yours, Jesus. How heartening is this guarantee of yours, Jesus. Yes, indeed, in this world, we'll continue to have trouble. Yes, Jesus, life is hard, and it can be very hard at times. All around us, we either witness or hear daily about many troubling events. Things can be quite chaotic at times. Terrorism, hatred, fraud, dishonesty, violence, crumbling infrastructure, greed, unemployment, frayed nerves, crushing debt, illness, substance abuse, loneliness, fear, despair, and death. To all this, we have to add the many negative consequences of the pandemic caused by COVID-19. Yet Jesus, you are telling us, take courage. Take courage because I've conquered the world. Take courage because I'll send you the Holy Spirit, my Spirit, upon the face of the earth, into the depth of your soul, so that you'll not fall into the spirit of fear, of cowardice, of troubled conscience, of anger, of sadness. Invoke the Holy Spirit. Call upon Him. Come, Holy Spirit. Then entrust yourself entirely to His transforming power. Yes, Jesus, that is what I'll do now. That is what I'll do for the rest of this week in preparation for the feast day of Pentecost. That is what I'll do every day of my life, so that the Holy Spirit can take more complete and full possession of my thoughts, my desires, my emotions and feelings. Come, Holy Spirit, dwell more deeply in me, because I am your temple. There's wonderful advice given us by late Cardinal Mercier, who became a hero to the world for his defense of Belgium during its sufferings after the German invasion during the First World War. With the overrunning of Belgium and the exile of both the king and his government, Cardinal Mercier acted as the rallying point for Belgian resistance to German occupation. By the time Cardinal Mercier returned from the election of the new Pope, Benedict XV, the majority of the country was in German hands. During this time, he began to publish open letters criticizing the German occupation force, whereas ordinarily he could have been expected to be arrested and perhaps even shot for his subversive views. Regardless of his position as a cardinal, his unusually high profile, the popularity among German Catholics ensured his continuing liberty, aside from a brief period of arrest in January of 1915. Cardinal Mercier exerted continuous and ultimately successful pressure upon the Germans to cease deporting Belgian laborers to factories in Germany, and campaigned against Germany's incitement of Belgium's Flemish population. And this same cardinal, facing so much hostility and persecution, as well as bearing the enormous burden of his office, prayed continually to the Holy Spirit, seeking, asking, especially the gift of fortitude. He taught a countless number of people to do this. Every day, for 5 minutes, control your imagination, close your eyes to things of sense, and your ears to all the noises of the world, in order to enter into yourself. Then, the sanctity of your baptized soul, which is the temple of the Holy Spirit, speak to the Divine Spirit, saying to him, O Holy Spirit, beloved of my soul, I adore you. Enlighten me, guide me, strengthen me, console me. Tell me what I should do. Give me your orders. I promise to submit myself to all that you desire of me, and accept all that you permit to happen to me. Let me only know your will. If you do this, your life will flow along happily, serenely, and full of consolation, even in the midst of trials. Grace will be proportioned to the trial, giving you strength to carry it, and you'll arrive at the gate of paradise laden with merit. Lord, what a wonderful advice that he applied to himself and helped so many people around him to stay calm, serene, trusting of the Lord's grace and power to face all the challenges that they were facing at that time. And, of course, this will continue to be our case for the rest of our lives too. Take courage. We take courage because we invoke the Holy Spirit. Stay, remain, depth of the Holy Spirit, especially with the gift of fortitude that he grants to us. Lord, precisely this is how, in the midst of troubles, you told us that we will have, when we invoke the Holy Spirit to guide us, to navigate through these troubled waters. So now, I ask the Holy Spirit for the outpouring of his gifts, especially that of fortitude. Come, O blessed Spirit of fortitude, uphold my soul in time of trouble and adversity, sustain my efforts after holiness, strengthen my weakness, give me courage against all the assaults of my enemies, that I may never be overcome and separate from you, my God and greatest good. Praying like this, with trust and confidence in God's help, will feel the outpouring of the Holy Spirit in the depth of our soul. With this strength, we'll face whatever challenges, obstacles, and sufferings which we'll face or experience in our life circumstances. We'll hear your strong voice, Jesus, telling us, take courage, I have conquered the world. This is how, for instance, the 3 children of Fatima faced great threats of imprisonment, possible torture, and deprivation of family support. We know that Our Lady began to appear to these humble young children May the 13th, 1917. She asked them to come to meet her during the subsequent months, exactly on the 13th. They did that in June and July. Then, in August, they're tricked by the administrator of Urem, who took them away by horse cart. He placed them in jail with the male prisoners, threatening to throw them into boiling oil if they did not recant or tell the secret that they had learned from Our Lady. Despite all the threats of being killed, the 3 shepherd children remained loyal to Our Lady. They refused to reveal anything to the administrator. They even got the men in prison to kneel in prayer with them. 7-year-old Jacinta was especially courageous. Lucia wrote years later that she believed Jacinta received special graces to understand devotion to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Even in prison, the little shepherds offered sacrifices for the conversion of sinners and for the Holy Father, as they had been instructed to do from the angel Fatima and Our Lady. In prison, Jacinta prayed, O my Jesus, this is for love of you, for the conversion of sinners, for the Holy Father, in reparation for the sins committed against the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Lord, what a marvel it is to behold the power of the Holy Spirit, and in particular what the gift of fortitude can do, even for young children. Since that is the case, Jesus, I firmly believe that the same Holy Spirit will continue to help me with my own life. For instance, when I be ridiculed for wearing discreetly my scapular for the love of Our Lady. In that situation, Jesus, I'll invoke the Holy Spirit and I'll pray for them so they too might discover the power of the sacramental. Or, for instance, when I'm on the internet and instead of stopping on time, I want to keep clicking and clicking away, perhaps even being tempted to click on those pesky ads, which I know will lead me to an occasion of offending Jesus. At the very moment, I'll invoke the Holy Spirit, your Spirit, Jesus, so that I can exercise self-control and be tough with me. Yes, Jesus, with this gift of fortitude, I'll always feel strong, be ready to face many challenges of my life, and bear witness to your divine power working through me. I thank you, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, inspirations that you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask your help to put them into effect. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.